That way I don't have to use this computer. All right, so I guess we're online. All right, this is ITS 128. Today is October 18th, so it's class number 18. And we are a little behind because I took a week off to do our midterms. And so today I'm going to finish chapter 5. Actually it'll be this time and possibly next time finishing chapter 5. And then I'll dive into chapter 6 and 7 and we should be able to catch up. I can cut some of this. Array lists, maybe we don't have to spend so much time on, and modularizing code also. That should be pretty straightforward at this point. I haven't come up yet with assignment 8, but today what I'd like to do is to go over reading and writing text files. So we're in the 3rd edition here. And what I'm talking about is chapter 5. Chapter 5. This one here, I think. No. One just before it. Very simple reading and writing text files. This one here. So tutorial 5.5-5 is a tutorial that has you this window pops up. Oh, a window like this pops up, and you just type in a name and click on Write File, and that just stores the name in a file. Okay, so and in this tutorial we go through and we enter in the code to do that right down here, this code. Now what I've done is I've provided in resources, sample programs. By the way, in case you didn't know this, these are the starting files. When they talk about starting files, and like for one of the assignments, I think we started with a starting file. It said start by opening up a file. Well, those are in here. So you just download the one for the chapter, and all of them are in there for that chapter. So that would be chapter 5. But what I've included for you is the finished version. So that's this zip file here. So why don't we download that? I'm going to download that on the desktop. And what that is the solution here. And so what I'd like to do is to briefly go through we're going to be introduced to a new class. It's called the Streamwriter class, Streamwriter class, and the Streamreader class. And those, when we declare a variable as a Streamwriter variable, it is able to connect a file from the file system to it. So you use this method. You use this method. So here we've declared a variable called output file. It's not an integer. It's not a decimal. It's not a string. It's a Streamwriter. It's not a. We've worked with other ones too, but it's a Streamwriter, and so output file can take on the name of a file and for a particular purpose opened a particular way. Okay, and so what this does is this connects output file to this file, which is on your machine, and then it writes one line after another, writes these three names, and then it closes the file, and that's it. Okay, so that's it. It closes it. See, so first we set this variable equal to a file name, a file, and we are going to append the file instead of just writing it outright. We're going to append to it. So if there's stuff in there already, we're going to add our stuff onto the end of it. That's what appending means. And so that's it. And so that's the first. I think that's what it is. So all right. So let's okay. So that's the Streamwriter class, and this is reading. This is the Streamreader class. So here we declare a variable called input file as a Streamreader type variable, and then we're able to open it up. We're able to connect that variable to this text file in a way where we're going to read it, and we can read it one line at a time, just like we wrote files, or just like we wrote lines. We can read them one at a time, and this is how we do it. We grab one, put it, and this is a string now. This needs to be a string because you're grabbing out a string. These are text files. They're not binary files, the other kind of files. So this stores the first line, and then we display that out, and then this grabs the second line, this displays it out, and this grabs the third line. You know, the next line, it's always the next line, and then this displays it out, and it does it again, and then it closes the file. You have to make sure you close the file at the end, because otherwise, if you try to open it up again to do something else, you aren't going to be able to, because it's being used. It's in use by the other thing that has it open. There's a lot here that goes. This explains how the data is actually kind of stored on the disk, and it's not really that important that you learn this kind of stuff. Here we got a disk, it's a rotating disk. It's got cylinders and sectors and tracks and all that. Well, the trouble with learning this is because this is all a physical implementation of the abstract reading and writing classes that you're going to use. You're never going to have to use this. In fact, when we talk about solid state drives, it's different. It's not even this. There's not a rotating disk, and it's not in a circle. And the kind of issues with a rotating disk are, if you want to read some data that's way on the other side of the disk, or way, you're reading data on some outside cylinder, and then the next sector of data that you want to read is way on an inside cylinder, then this thing that does the reading has got to move all the way from the outside to the inside, physically move. Meanwhile, the disk is spinning around, so it times it just so when it gets there, it's able to read it right away and all that. That's all, interesting. It's interesting stuff. But and if you were in mechanical engineering school, you'd be studying that. But if you're not a mechanical engineer and you decide to be an electrical engineer or electronics person, then and you're learning about disks, you'd be learning about the architecture of a solid state disk, and that's different. It's a bunch of memory cells and logic and everything. Anyway, so we're going to learn these two new classes and these methods that come along with them, so we can read and write data files. So this is how you start out a file from scratch. The other one, you recall, was file.append text. This is file.create text. What create text does is it opens up a file and it starts with it being empty. So if there was something in there already, it erases it. All right, so I think it'd be best if I explain this to you just with an example. And you know, I noticed that more than one of you sometimes gets mixed up with all of the files and folders that go along with a Visual Studio project. And so I'm going to do more of this here, where I'm going to give you the finished product from the textbook, and we're going to unzip it and go through it and learn from what's there, and then I'm going to ask you to make some modifications to it. Okay, so I'm going to start by I downloaded this from La Lima. I'm going to extract it onto my desktop. Now, I'm going to uncheck this show extracted files when complete. I'm just going to uncheck that because I think that confuses a lot of people. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to extract it. Okay, first of all, look, we only see this zipped up one. Extract. Okay, boom, and now this is a real folder. This is not a folder. This is a zip file. This is a file. You know, this is a single file. This is a directory. It's got a directory structure. It's got a bunch of files. This is just one single big binary file. Now, Windows makes it very nice for you. You can go down and look and see what's inside this thing, usually. But oh, it's opening up over on my other screen here. So we've unzipped it, and here it is. So now this is the one I work with. So and this is the original, and we can set this aside or delete it or whatever. In fact, I'm gonna delete it because we don't need that anymore. Okay, now I'm gonna open this up, and it opens up over on my other screen here, and these windows are backwards. Just bear with me here. This one's over here. Thank you. All right, this over here. Okay, so I've opened up this thing, and here it is. Oh, look, there's another one just right here. And I open up this thing, and oh, look, there's this. This is the project. It looks like. Open up the project, and look what we see inside the project is this SLN file, and then this directory that goes along with it. Okay, now we're going to be diving into this. We're going to be diving all the way down into bin, debug, and this happens to be the file that this program reads and writes. Okay, it's way down there in this debug file. By the way, in this debug directory. By the way, look what else is in here. This is the actual executable. Okay, you give this to somebody, and they just double click on it, and your program runs. There's no code or anything else. This is like the final thing. You know, this is the thing that the virus checks. This is the thing that keeps you from being able to zip this thing up and email it. You know, you email it, it doesn't want to email it. Why? Because down in join, down in here and here, here and here and here is this .exe file. What you can do is delete this .exe file, probably delete this one too, and then it'll probably go. And the next time you open it up, whenever you click start, these files are generated again. Okay, so let's look at the dates. 7/19/2018. That's a while ago. All right. So just remember that. Let's go back out to here. No, to here, and this is what you open. So presumably you should be able to double click on this, and it should start up Visual Studio, but sometimes it doesn't, and you may have to go into Visual Studio and go down and find this. So I'm going to do it that way just to be more difficult. I'm going to click on this Visual Studio 2017, start this up first, and it should make me sign in. the only one I can remember. All right, close this. Now, now I'm going to open up, you know, I have to go down and find this .sln file, which is down in there. So I'm going to file, open project solution, and I'm going to start on the desktop, go into tutorial, this one, go down again, go down here, and here's that .sln file. Click on this, click open. Until it's open. All right, here we go. So here it is, whatever. I'm just going to click start. Start. Okay, now we're running. See, this is the thing that's running. By the way, let's just go back and check, see, let's go down in here, down in the bin, down in the debug, and we look and see, look, this is brand new, this 10/18/2018, that's right now. See, all I did was start it up, and it generates a new .exe file. So that's, so every time, so that does the compile, it compiles it, creates a new executable, and then executes the executable. So that's what's going on there. All right, so, oh, and this is the, let's go back here and look at the name. Okay, I'm going to open this up using Notepad++. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's got these names in here. Now, you notice that there's no return. You'll see what happened. There's not an enter. There's just, it just ends at the end of the O of Colombo. It doesn't go on to the next line like it usually does. Let's type in some names. I'm going to type in Maisie Hirono. Right name. Okay, name was written. All right. How about Brian Schatz? All right. Okay, so I typed in two names. And oh, let's go back and look and see that text file that we opened up. Oh, look, it says it has been modified. You want to reload it? Sure. There's Maisie Hirono and there's Brian Schatz. So anyway, so let's exit this. And let's check out the code. So let's double click on this form1.cs, double click. There it is. And I want to view some code, so I'm going to view code. And here's some code. There's the form, and there's the code. So there's some new things here. This is new, system.io. That's where we get. That's where these new classes are defined, this Streamwriter class. And there's no Streamreader here, but I'm going to modify this, and we're going to add a Streamreader class in there, or usage of the Streamreader class. So first we declare this output file, and this variable that can connect to an output file, this variable that can connect to an actual file on your file system, and then we attach that file to the variable. We attach a file to the variable, and it's this this friend.txt file here, and then we read out of the name box. And it's a string, so we don't have to do any conversion. We just write it back out again. We grab the text field and write it back out again. We can do that. And then we close it, have to close it. And then it just says the name was written, and then it blanks out the text box, and then it puts the focus back on the text box so the guy can just start typing again. He doesn't have to go click on it. He doesn't have to go click on the text box. It's there already, ready to type. And then the exceptions can be like if you try to open a file that doesn't exist, although it'll try to create it. Yeah, if you open a file to read and it doesn't exist, then that would be an exception. If you try to open a file and you specify a path to the file and there's no path like that, it's going to be you would get an exception. You know, it wouldn't be able to do it successfully. All right. So first of all, let's all right, okay, this is something you gotta know how to do. I'm gonna make it so the path is someplace else. So I'm gonna make it so the path is on my desktop, okay? So, so how do you do that? Well, let me see, I'm gonna create a new file here. I'm gonna create a new file, and I'm gonna save that file, save as, and I'm gonna put it on my desktop. And I'm going to name it friends2.txt. Friends, plural, friends2.txt. I'm going to save it. It doesn't have anything in it, but what it does, but what we do see, because we're using Notepad, it's got the path right up here. Okay? It's got the path right up there. So I'm going to go back into my code here. And I'm gonna let me so I can refer to it quickly. Put that right there so I can see it. And I'm gonna put that path right there, right here. So I'm gonna type C colon users / open / desktop / friends2.txt, quote unquote. Oops. All right. Now the problem is, you'll notice there's squigglies. The problem is, we're trying to define a text string here, and it doesn't like the slashes. So I think we can put double slashes. I think that works. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way you can do it is if you don't like double slashes, or if there's so many double slashes that it's too much, you can put an ampersand in front. That does it too. It's the only language I know where they make it so difficult to do a text string. Ampersand. All right, so now this is going to work, and it's going to write it on this new file. Okay, well, let's see if it does. Start. Hello. Could not find. What did I do wrong? It's not there anymore. Oh, I know. Oops. I didn't type in what's up here. You gotta always type. You have to type. Oh, by the way, was that an exception? Let's go back and do that again. Was that an exception? Wait a second. I bet you this is the exception. Oh no, is it? Yeah, it is. It must be, because it's continuing to run. Okay, great. So this is an exception. So it's doing this here. Sorry. I'm going to confirm that by going whoops. I don't think that's how you spell whoops. But, all right, so I'm going to say whoops first. Whoops. ABC. Yeah, whoops. Okay, so that's an exception. I show you an example of exception. So, but anyway, the problem is that's not what this is up here. I'm missing a slash. Now let's try to run it. Hello there. Okay, let's go here. There you go. Awesome. So I wrote into this file here, and my program is still running. So I can say goodbye. Name was written. See, there, as far as the desktop goes, the focus is still on my Visual Studio program, but if I click and change the focus to the text file, it says it's been modified. You want to reload it? Yes, okay. All right, so that's pretty cool. What time is it? 11:19. All right, let's try something different. Let's try that Streamreader thing. So let's go back to the design, and I'm going to put in another text box. I'm going to put in one right in between. What am I doing wrong? Gotta wait for something. All right. Here we go. All right, takes a while. So I'm going to move this over here, move this over here, and I'm going to make another button, copy paste, put that right here, and I'm going to make this one say display file. There we go. And I'm going to name it btn display file. All right. So now I'm going to double click on it because I want to make an event handler where when you click on it, it reads up the file and displays it up in a message box, line by line. Okay. Double click. Here we go, right here. I must have double clicked on the, well, maybe that was there before. Okay, so so I guess I'm gonna, all right, I gotta create a string variable. I have to create a string variable so I can read up the data or read up the lines of the file and store it in a string variable. And then after I'm done reading, I will display it out using a message box. Okay, so I don't know how many lines there are in the file. So I'm going to use a while loop, and there is a method or a property, I think, in the Streamreader class that'll tell you if the file is empty. So I'm going to use a while loop, and I'm going to have it be while the file's not empty, read the next line and store it, and I'm going to append it, you know, plus equal it to my string. So let's declare a string here. String contents, file contents. How's that? File contents. Say, do you want me to turn on my? I can turn on this. I can turn on my so you can see what I'm doing on your screen if you want me to do that. Excuse me. Sorry. All right, a new string called file contents. I'm sorry, I just like to declare these things, starting out with nothing, and then I'm going to do. I need help. That's file create. Read write method. Are we still just writing here? Reading, oh no, rewrite. Still writing, pending. Oh, reading. Did I go too far? Reading. Okay, I need to declare it. I need to declare it. Streamreader, input file. That's a good name for it. And then I say this, except for it's not that. It's this, but this is inside of this. It's inside of this scope, and I want to use it over in this scope. So what do I do? Well, I'll declare a private. I'll declare a private field. Private file name equals this thing. Cut this thing. Okay. Yeah. Something wrong with that? What did I? Am I doing something? Oh, string. String. Got to give it a type. Okay, so I got that file name there. So now the scope is out here. So and that's included here. So I could just say file name. Okay, so that opens it up, and then now I do while input file is something. Loop, reading with a loop. Here we go. While input file dot end of stream, of course. Yeah, while it's, okay. We can say it this way or we can say it this way. Right now, this might be more clear. So I'm just gonna copy this thing over here. Copy, and I see what happens when I paste it. I wonder if it's gonna paste. Paste, it looks nice. All right, while, oh, and I named it the same too, so that's good. While it's file contents plus equals input file dot read line. There it is right there, read line. Okay. Now, the problem with this is that when you read, the read line, the way it knows it's a line is that it ends with a return. It ends with a \n. You know, that's the new line character. And so that's how it knows it's the end of the line. But when it reads the line up, it does not read up that \n. It knows that's a separator. You actually have to put the \n on there too, if you want it to, if what you're reading you want to have a if you're reading it up and you want to put each line on a new line, you have to actually put the new line character. So I'm going to do that. Plus, quote, \n. So that will append on the \. Anyway, so this thing just reads up the read line and stores it in there, and and it goes until the input file end of stream is done. And this read line is a consuming read line. So it reads a line and then it's got like a pointer deal, and if it's read that line already, it's not going to come back and read it again. So it keeps track of the last line it read. So when this executes again, because this is a loop, when it reads it, it consumes it, and then when it goes back to read again, it reads the next one. All right, so when we're done, we can display out this message box. Show file contents. So that's, oh, and then I got to close it. Got to always remember to close it. In fact, I should show you what happens when I don't close it. No, I'll just close it. File, input file. You can experiment. See what happens when you don't close it. You should always, you're in the learning stages, the learning phase of all this, and you should try doing stuff you're not supposed to do, or forget stuff, and then just try and see what happens, and that way you start to build your ability where you're debugging something and you click, you click and you get some, it doesn't work and it behaves a particular way. You know what the problem is because you actually made that error on purpose once a long time ago, and you recognized what the symptom, or you learned what the symptom was at that point. So you say input file dot close, and that closes it up. And so I think we should be able to run this now. See what? Oh, I'm going to take out that annoying message box. The name was written. Just going to take that out. All right, now let's run this. And friend's name is Joe Schmo, Mary Szymanski, Jimmy Steckel. Now display file. There it is. Hello there, goodbye, Joe Schmo, Mary Szymanski, Jimmy Steckel. Now, see, what was there before is displayed. You remember that's what was there before. We can also do something like clear. How would I clear? Well, we could do something like this. Here, go here. So I'm going to add a clear. No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it so whenever you start the program up, it clears it. Okay? How's that? When you start the program, it starts with a fresh, clean file. So to do that, you just that's a form. That's an onload function. It's when the form is first loaded, you want to do something, and to get at that code, you double click on. What's going on? What is it? It's going to give me a button. I don't want to put a button there. Escape. Escape. Okay. You double click on the blank area here. So double click and this is the form load. And I think that was already there, but so here I can say let's just do this again. Let's do this. Except for I don't want to append text. I want to create text. This. Close. Output file. Close. Okay, that erases it. Okay, so let's see it work. So here's the, yes, okay. So here's this. I'm going to put it over. I'm going to put it over on the side so we can see it. How do I do that? I'll put this here, and I'll put this right over like here. Okay, so you can see it there. Let me just do this here. All right, so so there it is. Now I'm gonna start it up. Start, and look, it's started. But now I'm gonna go over and tap on this thing and see what happens. Oh, it's been modified. Do I want to reload it? Yes. My data's gone. All right, so who else do I know? Marlon Wiedemeyer. Display file. File, okay. Let me just go over here and click this. Oh, all right. So anyway, so that works. Exit. No, I guess I'm not sure how that property works. Okay. Well, anyway, I won't take up any more time. Is there anybody that still needs to show me their midterm? Okay. All right. Good. Why don't we do that? I'm gonna. Okay. So you understand how to read and write files now. So I'm gonna incorporate that into an assignment, plus the rest of the stuff in this chapter, which I will go over next time, and I think I'll stick with the same assignment, and I'll just add something which you know, incorporates the new stuff that we've learned. I think I may use the same assignment. I may start a new one. Anyway, okay. So if there aren't any more questions, I'll end the meeting. Okay, thanks for watching.